Hey guys, today on Peak Your Mind, the Huffington Post asked me to make a video on how to live life fully, and when they asked me to do this, I was thinking to myself, what does a 25-year-old kid know about living life fully? But the truth is, I've had, like we all have had, moments where we're awakened to what really matters in life. Even if for a second we get a glimpse. Like I remember when I was 16 and having a cancer scare, and I remember going to the doctor to get diagnosed, and the week between going to the doctor and hearing the news was the longest week of my life, and it put things in perspective really quick because all of a sudden, the petty stuff, like the little arguments didn't matter, and as cheesy as it sounds, like love was the only thing that mattered. Or a couple years later, I remember I got a phone call saying my sister had been in an accident, and I pulled up to see my sister's car just completely flipped over and crushed. It was like a pancake in the middle of the intersection, and when you hear something like that and you see something like that, the worst case scenario just races through your mind, and it was a miracle because she walked away completely fine. She didn't have a scratch on her, but that day and that moment made me realize how important it is to cherish and to love the people around you every single day. But that moment and that day made me realize how important it is to cherish and to love and to make the most of every single person in your life every single day. Or even when I worked in retail, I remember one day a couple guys came in with guns, and one of the guys in the shop next to ours had been overheard saying, "I'm going to kill every single person in here." And that moment, I never felt anything like that before in my life, where my body just went into fight or flight and everything was just in slow motion. It was kind of like the stampede from The Lion King. And me and my coworkers got split up, and some of us were in this room, in this back room, just sitting there and hiding out and kind of like awaiting our fate. And the only thought that kept coming to my mind in that moment was, man, I hope my family knows I love them. And so we've all had moments like that, maybe not that intense, maybe more intense, where we're awakened to what really matters in life and the importance of living it to the fullest every single day. And so in this video, I'm gonna share 5 tips that I've learned so far on how to live life fully. So tip number 1 is don't hold back love. When it comes to the people that you care about, tell them and show them that you care about them. If those are the last words they heard from you, what would you want them to be? And that's not to say like, oh, you should live in fear because you never know what's gonna happen. What's more about empowering and encouraging and loving people and showing compassion while you're here. Not living in this world of unsaid or biting your tongue because it's not cool, but just loving as big and as much as you possibly can. So don't hold back. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to heed the call. When opportunity calls, when adventure calls, when love calls, when purpose calls, you gotta answer that call like, hello, it's me, I'm in California. Even when it's scary, even when it's not the safe route, even if it's a goal you think is bigger than you, if there's a burning desire in you to do something, you have to take that chance and go after it. And take it from me, because I wasted a lot of time in that in-between stage of like wanting to do something, having this dream, having this goal, having this burning desire of creating Peak Your Mind and this whole project, and still living in that fear and that limitation of, ooh, I'm not good enough, ooh, this, ooh, that, whatever. And it's just wasted time. But if there has been a dream planted in your heart, you have this desire and you see it and like, oh, I would love to do that, but forget the but. There is no but. There's just you having the courage and the perseverance and the determination to take that dream and make it physical and make it real. It's not an accident, it's a sign, so go for it. On to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is to recognize problems as gifts in disguise. With every problem or challenge that presents itself to you, it's an opportunity to grow and to become better and to expand into more of who you really are. And one of my favorite quotes, one of the quotes I live by, is that with every adversity, with every challenge, with every failure, with every heartbreak, comes with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. And I'll be honest, this is not easy, and not everyone's going to do this, but as you do this and as you do practice this, your entire world changes, because all of a sudden you don't give away your happiness as easily. You're not giving away your faith and your sense of certainty so easily. And it's a really small change in perspective, but it makes a world of difference, because you start to recognize that life is offering you gifts in a ton of different packages. And so when a problem or challenge presents itself to you, you can look at it and be like, how can I take this and use this to become better? How can I use this to become my best? Tip number 4 is to collect experiences over things. And I once heard, I think it was in a book that I'd read, that talked about how it's so much better to invest in experiences instead of just buying things, especially when it comes to somebody else, because it gives us such a lasting sense of happiness and joy. And I love things. Things are necessary, but when it comes to our happiness, it's a lot like sugar or lust, where it gives us that quick spike and then kind of drops us off and fizzles out. And what's interesting is that whenever I reflect back on like the happiest or most memorable times of my life, it rarely revolves around a thing, and it's usually around an experience or the people in my life that I really care about. And I can't imagine being a grandpa and telling my grandkid like, oh, I remember the best day of my life was when I got an iPhone and I could take 1,000 selfies and pick my favorite one. You know, no way. So make a list. Start by making a list. This is something that I practice and something that I do, where I'll take my phone or I'll take my journal and I'll write down like all these incredible experiences, and then I can go back and revisit those and reassess associate to them and relive them. And it can be anything, but stuff like your first kiss, or that time you snuck out when you weren't supposed to, or when you laughed so hard and you spit water everywhere. That's like my life daily. Or when you went on that trip or that adventure, or whatever it is, just things that are really memorable and the experiences to you. When you can bookmark those, when you can write them down, and you really invest in those in your life over just buying things, you'll find that you're so much happier and so much more fulfilled, and you'll be living life fully. And now on to my final tip. Tip number 5 is to give back. Life is a gift. It was given to us. We didn't earn it. We just showed up one day. And the way you live it is your way of giving back. And for me, the way I appreciate this gift of life is first with gratitude. I wake up every day, even if I'm not feeling my best, and just say, thank you, God, for a brand new day, and I celebrate the day. And the second thing is to make your life in service of others in one way or another. Whatever suits your gifts and your talents, do that and follow that. And I ain't no Mother Teresa, but what I found and what I felt and what I've experienced is your soul really comes alive when you make your life more than just about you. So those are my 5 tips on how to live life fully and make the most of every single day. And what I want to know from you is that if you had 6 months to live, what would you do with that time? What would your life be about? And I know that's hashtag deep, but that is how we get to self-discovery and learn more about ourselves and what really matters. So if I had 6 months to live, just off the top of my head, the first thing I would do is I would kick fear to the curb, because who cares? I only got 6 months anyway. I might as well go big or go home. The second thing I would do is I would make a list, like a giant bucket list of travels, of adventures, of things, of dreams, of goals, and I would start to knock those things off and make the most of every single minute that I have. And the third thing I would do is I'd be like, forget these 6 months, I'm gonna get healthy, I'm gonna live another 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So that's my answer. Comment below with yours, and if you like this video, like it and share it, and if you're new here, subscribe for more videos like this. I love you, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you later.